Have you ever wondered how employees in large organizations negotiate their wages, working conditions, and other benefits? Or how companies manage to maintain harmonious relationships with their workforce while ensuring business productivity? The answer often lies in a process known as collective bargaining. But what exactly is collective bargaining? How does it work? What strategies are used in this process? Are there real-world examples of collective bargaining in action? In this video, I'll be discussing these questions with you. Section 1. Definition. Collective bargaining is the process by which employers and a group of employees negotiate and agree on the terms of employment. This negotiation is typically conducted between representatives of the employer and the employees, who are often represented by a union. The purpose of collective bargaining is to reach an agreement that regulates working conditions, wages, hours, benefits, and other aspects of workers' compensation and rights. It is a fundamental right in many countries, protected by labor laws and international conventions. Section 2. Process. The process of collective bargaining involves several key steps, each crucial to reaching a successful agreement. Step 1. Preparation. Before negotiations begin, both parties prepare extensively. The union gathers input from its members to understand their needs and priorities, while the employer assesses the financial and operational implications of potential agreements. Both sides often conduct research, gather data, and establish their objectives for the negotiation. Step 2. Negotiation. In this phase, the representatives of the employer and the union meet to discuss the terms of the contract. These discussions can be lengthy and involve several rounds of proposals and counterproposals. The goal is to reach a mutually acceptable agreement on issues such as wages, working hours, health benefits, job security, and other working conditions. Effective communication and compromise are critical during this stage. Step 3. Agreement. Once both parties reach a consensus, the terms are formalized in a collective bargaining agreement, CBA. This contract is a legally binding document that outlines the rights and responsibilities of both the employer and the employees. Before the agreement is finalized, it is typically subject to ratification by the union members, who vote on whether to accept the terms. Step 4. Implementation. After ratification, the agreement is implemented. Both the employer and the union are responsible for ensuring that the terms of the contract are followed. The union typically plays a role in monitoring compliance and addressing any grievances that may arise during the term of the agreement. Step 5. Renegotiation. Collective bargaining agreements are not permanent. They usually have a set duration, often ranging from 1 to 3 years. As the agreement nears expiration, the process begins again with renegotiation, where new terms are discussed and agreed upon based on changes in the economic environment, business needs, or employee concerns. Section 3. Strategies. Several strategies are employed by both employers and unions during collective bargaining to achieve their goals. Strategy 1. Interest-based bargaining, IBB. Interest-based bargaining focuses on mutual interests rather than opposing positions. Instead of negotiating based on demands, both parties work together to identify shared concerns and develop solutions that benefit both sides. This collaborative approach often leads to more sustainable agreements and better workplace relationships. Strategy 2. Positional bargaining. In positional bargaining, each side begins with a fixed position and negotiates based on that stance. This approach can be more adversarial, as each party tries to gain as much as possible, often leading to compromises that may not fully satisfy either side. However, it is a common strategy, especially in contentious negotiations. Strategy 3. Concession bargaining. Concession bargaining occurs when an employer seeks to reduce costs by asking the union to accept reductions in wages, benefits, or other conditions. In exchange, the employer might offer job security or other concessions. This strategy is often used during economic downturns when companies need to cut costs to survive. Strategy 4. Distributive bargaining. Distributive bargaining involves dividing a fixed amount of resources, where one party's gain is the other party's loss. This zero-sum approach is often used in negotiations over wages or other finite resources. It requires careful calculation and strategic thinking to ensure that the final agreement is acceptable to both sides. Section 4. Real-world example. One of the most well-known examples of collective bargaining is the negotiation between the United Auto Workers, UAW, and the Big Three automakers in the United States, Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. In 2019, UAW members went on strike against General Motors for 40 days, the longest national strike in 50 years. The workers were seeking better wages, job security, and the preservation of healthcare benefits. After extensive negotiations, the strike ended with a new 4-year collective bargaining agreement that included wage increases, signing bonuses, and a pathway to permanent employment for temporary workers. The strike demonstrated the power of collective bargaining in achieving significant gains for workers, while also highlighting the challenges of reaching an agreement in a competitive industry. Section 5. Summary. To sum up, collective bargaining is a vital process that allows employers and employees to negotiate fair and equitable terms of employment. Through careful preparation, strategic negotiation, and collaboration, both parties can reach agreements that benefit the workforce while ensuring the organization's success. Alright, that's all for today's topic.